Welcome back, my friends. We are here at Season 5 Get Good playoffs in the EU region. My name's BoomerSquad, and alongside Moxie, you dyed your hair and grew a beard.
Yeah, I thought we talked about this in the break. I was gonna do this, and I think it looks good on me. I also changed my shirt, and yeah.
Your voice
Hi.
sounds a little different too. No, this
Yeah.
is the wonderful Belly joining me here for match number 2, as we're gonna have BoomerSquad taking on Too Easy Idiot Sandwich here in our winners bracket.
Yeah, absolutely. Too easy and too easy idiot sandwich versus the BoomerSquad. Where I mean, in this bracket, we also had Project Alpha versus Benchwarmer Zero, and Benchwarmer Zero winning with 3-0. So whoever wins of this matchup is gonna be heading up against them. And I mean, now in the rookie division, I like the rookie division. It's so great to get to watch. I love seeing plat teams just heading head to head in an organized fashion. Like there's so much potential there, and
Right.
I adore it.
And you don't often see just meta comps. You get to see a lot of comfort picks, which brings a lot of fun. Just brings a lot of variety to the competitive scene, and it's exciting to see the strategies that they come out with, bringing these unusual compositions, and can sometimes catch teams off guard.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like the thing is, right now, as you mentioned, the comfort picks are fairly important because a lot of the higher tier metas at the moment are double shields coming out a fair chunk of the time, with occasionally a dive on certain maps. But seeing here, for example, if we look at Too Easy Idiot Sandwich, they've got a team where I'm seeing most played heroes Reinhardt Zarya, which already makes me happy, seeing some brawl composition coming through. Pharah and Tracer, you can get a great crossfire along with that Reinhardt Zarya, with Lucio and Anna to get their front line into the team and keep them all healed up. While on the other side, for the BoomerSquad, also seeing Reinhardt, Zarya, Sigma as well, so you've got some leeway on that side. Lucio, Batiste, Mora, so also a fair chunk of healing. Another Sigma player as the 7th player. And then McCree, Hanzo, Ash, so getting some hit scan potential, which could give a problem for the Pharah. So if the adaptability for Too Easy Idiot Sandwich of that Pharah is not enough, that might prove to be an issue. But either way, these are some interesting picks that I just adore to see coming out.
I feel like we're on the same page here, Billy. It was the adaptability that I was thinking about as well. And if you fail to adapt, I think it's just going to spell doom for your team, no matter which squad it is here. So top seed choosing the map here. We're heading to Nepal to start things off.
Yeah, Nepal, a great map is going to be Village as the first one. And as always, with these control maps, you get so much different playstyles on every different map. Now, Village is notorious for bunkering up on the objective. So whichever team gets there first and manages to set up with, say, a Symmetra or a Mei or something along those lines, get yourself a Lucio and teleport out of your spawn to get faster on the point, can very much give you an edge on this map. We've seen Pharahs coming on out to break through that bunker, to have a double fire coming in, especially with that new Pharah damage coming on through, back to the 120 damage after Echo came out. That is really a big chunk of damage to coming in. It's looking like both of these teams are looking to do a sort of strategy like that.
Yeah, and I like the brawl that they're showing us so far. Of course, we still have 17 seconds for these teams to change their mind. And, Hanzo Main showing us that sim. And if this keeps up, as we're seeing, BoomerSquad are going to have the positional advantage. They might get to that objective first. It could be so important, especially here on Village.
I mean, it's a bit head-to-head where, okay, there's going to be the Lucio from DJ coming on through, so you're definitely going to also have that immortality field and that defensive power from the Batiste versus that Ana, which really gives you a lot of offensive capabilities, but if you can't break through the bunker, that offense is going nowhere.
Both teams wasting 0 time, speeding on to this objective just as anticipated. BoomerSquad picking up the positional advantage, planting their feet on the objective first. Sticking with the sim, getting those turrets up. Early Naywall coming from Idiot Sandwich, able to separate off 2 members of BoomerSquad. And Hanzo, though, finding first blood here in this playoff match. Low2 following up with a kill. Ruby getting into the mix as well. Half of Idiot Sandwich already back in spawn.
And this is where you see the power of that bunker the BoomerSquad has set up with both the Symmetra and the Mei, and you have to fight through the turrets, fight through the walls, and fight through the freeze to really get there. And that McCree is definitely going to give you some issues. Though the turrets get taken out relatively quickly, you're gonna have to build up, especially that nano on your Reinhardt to get that pushing power. You need to keep the bubble from his area as well to get through that initial bunker, that initial wall. And if you manage to do that, that is where you can get this point in your favor.
BoomerSquad indeed coming in with that Earth Shatter right out of the gate. But here comes that Nano Boost online, just as you were talking about. It can be oh so dangerous.
Ruby already drops to Lucio. That is a huge pick here.
That's a huge pick. Shed able to pick off the Zarya. Now a hat map getting in the mix. Almost takes down the Real Jaeger. That would have been such a key pick, but as it turns out, it's Hanzo main striking right back. Kitsune finds a pair of kills of their own, though. An Idiot Sandwich with a one-man advantage. Oh, but they get separated. And Lotu and the Real Jaeger right there to pick it up. Blizzard coming out from BoomerSquad to maintain control. Now they just have a Reinhardt with so little health left on the point.
Oh, what is very important that BoomerSquad used a lot to try and hold it to this point, and they're still using it. Twisty Idiot Sandwich. Twisty Idiot Sandwich got the point, and they didn't invest any ultimates. BoomerSquad invested 3, and they lost the point. Now Twisty Idiot Sandwich is in such a good position to start rotating those ultimates and get yourself one fight after another, and potentially even bringing this map home.
What a disciplined fight from Idiot Sandwich. Or Shatter coming out from Fake DD. Didn't find much. Graviton Surge in response from the other side. Now the counter Shatter coming through from Lotu. And Ultimate's just being flung left and right, and not a whole lot to show for it from either team. Idiot Sandwich emerging a little bit victorious. They got a couple of kills there in the back. Shad with a 3K on the Lucio. This guy is just looking insane. Excuse me, they are looking insane on this Lucio.
I mean, one thing to keep in mind though, Twisty Idiot Sandwich took all of their ultimates, save their nano to try and get this back. Hanzo still has that Symmetra wall, which can really give you some trouble if you cannot manage to speed through it. And DJ has the sound barriers, so you can get a really aggressive fight here to potentially take this point back.
Yeah, this ult economy just swing in a heartbeat. But we're looking about tied in capture percentage. Purified's first kill. Fake FDD with a beautiful charge. Taking down the Lucio, and now nanoed up, charged to the heavens, and going in swinging for the fences, going through the immortality field. Hanzo main finds a pair of kills, but not enough to bring the team back in this fight, as the two remaining members of Idiot Sandwich hold on to the point.
The Real Jaeger drops to their own pulse bombs. They're not getting that one at the next fight either. Anna's getting pushed pretty hard here, but it still looks like Idiot Sandwich will keep on hold of this point. You still have a Shadow, but you're gonna have to shadow through a Maywall and a... Okay. And an enemy Rhine.
Or just, solo shatter the Rhine. Lotu has no chance to press Q. And now the seconds start to dwindle down. BoomerSquad's got a touch. Nobody can get to the point.
So I like the switch that Twizy did there, or apologies, BoomerSquad did there. Getting the Tracer into the fight, though, I would have preferred to see the swap the other way around. Keep the Mei, swap the Symmetra. The Symmetra primarily gets strong when she gets to bunker up. Mei still has a bit of that power for the pushing towards the point, but right. Now going into Shrine, that Mei is going to be far less potent, but it does give that adaptability that these teams might potentially have, but you're gonna have to use the correct adaptability. BoomerSquad teasing a Genji without the Ana, that's still going to be a rough blade to pull on through. Twisty Idiot Sandwich going essentially for the picks that they put on their team sheet. Not getting the Lucio in, though, that's going to be a mercy for the Pharah. And the BoomerSquad coming out with the Genji, that's going to have a bit of trouble here versus the Pharah Tracer composition.
Yeah, the Real Jaeger is going to have to look for the Ana, try to see if they can find that pick. Furia! She starts off strong, fighting first blood in this engagement. Kitsune trying to find down the Zarya as Furia comes up with yet another kill. Genji does indeed take Hawks out, and the Ana is missing. So now Idiot Sandwich need to close this thing out fight as they're missing a large portion of their sustain.
They're missing a large part of their sustain, but without a counter for the Pharah, Furia just kind of gets to roam for free. Jaeger does pick up a couple, but there should be... no, the rest got used on the Ana. However, these heroes can come back relatively quickly. Lotu actually is going to swap over to the Orisa. There's going to be the double shield coming on in. With that Lucio, you're going to have an easier time actually getting to the point, but getting to Brawl as a double shield on the point versus a runner that's already been able to pump out the damage, almost has the Shatter with his art to back us up, it's not going to be a fun fight.
Right, can this rookie team show the discipline needed to really get maximum value out of this double shield? So far, we're not seeing it, as the first 2 kills come through from Idiot Sandwich. Hanzo Main leans a nice headshot onto the Tracer. Not easy to do, but in the end, Idiot Sandwich still have the numbers, maintaining control of this objective.
Hanzo Main is getting forced, though, to deal with 2 DPS on the enemy side, and that's a rough position to be in. Idiot Sandwich has basically all else coming in. Furia does drop, however, there's enough tools on the board for Too Easy to bring this one on back. However, there's going to be a Bob and a Blade coming in for BoomerSquad.
My question is, does Real Jaeger opt for the dry blade, or do they wait for that supercharger? 3-man shatter from the other side is the follow-up there. Hanzo Main goes down, and now the Graviton Surge Pulse Bomb combo. Did not look like the Pulse Bomb connected. Nevertheless, a couple kills coming through on the back of the 2 tank ultimates invested by Idiot Sandwich. They lose their Mercy, but that's not going to be enough to dissuade them off of this objective.
Too Easy is looking very strong in this matchup, and now as well having the barrage at the ready. Hanzo Main gets picked up early. It's not what you need. You're going into last fight territory. You've got a Bob, you've got a Blade. You're gonna have to start touching, and you're gonna have to get that value for that Bob with the Blade. Have the Bob for distraction, use the Blade to get the kills, but you need to get those picks. Otherwise, this is all said and done.
Low 2 forced to sacrifice the supercharger to bring out the Wrecking Ball. Here comes Real Jaeger with the Blade, but Zarya bubbles to chop through. Manages to get Hawks off on the Ana. Eventually sacrifices himself in the process, though, and that's the only kill that BoomerSquad are going to find.
Hanzo Main dropped early, and with that, that is going to be Nepal going to Idiot Sandwich, and with that Bob, you did not have the distraction to get yourself that fight, and Too Easy is gonna pick up that first map pretty convincingly.
Yeah, living up to the namesake on that one. That one looked a little bit too easy for him, I'm afraid. Oh,
the question is...
Yeah, no, I'm curious. What is the question, Belly? What is the question?
The question is whether they can keep it up, because you always have the difference, and I'm pretty sure there's a few casters and potentially a few viewers as well who are already sick of me saying this, but the dynamic versus the static objective. We just had a control point, which is very much one type of playstyle that you're going to be seeing from these teams to come on out. And if you're playing this Brawl type of composition, you've got the point, then the enemy team needs to come to you, and it gives you such an opportunity to really force the team into the hands that you want to play them. Now, going into a dynamic objective soon, that is where you're going to have the payload maps coming in, and you're going to need to be able to use that positioning appropriately, and it's going to be so more fluid that it might be a bit more difficult to really get that same value.
Agreed, especially with the Brawl composition. Though fake FDD putting in massive work. We saw all 4 gold medals went to the Reinhardt during that engagement, and that's very indicative to me. That means that Idiot Sandwich is able to get the Reinhardt in exactly where they need to be, close the gap. They're building up the Earth Shatters, and well, BoomerSquad choosing Rialto. So a lot of long sightlines on this. FDD might struggle to close that gap here as we head into this dynamic payload map, as you called
it. Absolutely. And one thing to also keep in mind, Idiot Sandwich has got a 9-1 win-lose record. On the other side, the BoomerSquad has got a 7-3. They both made it here to the playoffs, but Idiot Sandwich has got a bit of an advantage when it comes to win-losses, in the sense that they might be a bit of a stronger team. And what is especially going to be difficult here is Furia on the Pharah. Hanzo Main has dropped relatively often early in the fight, and that is your main counter to the Pharah. Getting into Rialto, that Pharah is probably coming on out. And if you don't have your hit scan right at the ready to take that pilot out of the sky, you're not going to have a fun time.
Which means Hanzo Main needs to play very safe, make sure they're utilizing cover to the best of their ability, because it absolutely seems like Idiot Sandwich knows that they have to take down that hit scan player first. They acknowledged their win condition on that and did a really good job of it on Nepal.
Every time, and Hanzo Main was also in those positions that just happened to be early picks. And even that last fight, as we mentioned, the Bob to come on through, the Hanzo Main had already died before they even got to the point. So it is going to be the Ash coming on through. It's also going to be the Pharah for Idiot Sandwich. So Shad is gonna have a fun time trying to damage both of them. Also double shield, so that one is still coming on through. Double shield, very much an interesting composition to have to deal with. Brawl, a completely different playstyle. You want to take those fights very early on. You want to take those close range fights. You want to brawl, as the name suggests. With double shield, your positioning is key. If you do not know your rotations and do them early enough, the enemy team can suddenly overrun you.
Agreed. The awareness must be on point and acknowledging what's going to happen a few seconds ahead before it happens to make sure your positioning is on point. As we do have Idiot Sandwich going on the defense, bringing us the Pharah and the Ashe once again. Well, at least the Pharah once again here to put the hurt down. On the other side, we're also getting the Pharah Ashe, but the Baptiste Zen support line here.
Baptiste Zen, like, you've got a bit more damage potential and AoE healing, but you're losing on the Pharah damage potential, which is massive. Those AoE rockets are really going to give a lot of trouble for the defense.
Hanzo Main put in good work early. He's able to take Katsune and Fury is super low. Ruby finishing off the Ashe, but the res available thanks to that extra mercy like you were talking about. So back to a full 6v6. Oh, Katsune able to pick the real Jaeger out of the sky. Huge play. That's going to allow Furia to just focus her damage onto that front line. No worries in the world about anything else up above. Ruby and Lotu get in the mix, though. The front line for BoomerSquad, lighting up the feed, takes Hawks down. Kitsune trying to answer back, does remove the Sigma from the battlefield, but the defense, they're losing members left and right. Furia gets the Ashe down, but loses their life in the process.
This is where that positioning and that rotation is so important. If Idiot Sandwich has had given up a bit more space, yes, you would be losing a bit of space, but you put a bit more pressure on your DPS to try and get the picks.
Looks like a late contest coming through. Real Jaeger able to get a very important pick indeed, taking down FK, the fake DD. We have the the Zenyatta drop as well. Res available for that defensive Orisa though. So shields back up here for Idiot Sandwich as they try to hold on the back of point A. Bob thrown in from the attackers to try to muscle in just the last few meters needed. Fox able to pick the bar out of the sky, but both tanks missing for the defense, and eventually this point will move on through. 4:35 on the clock here.
And the thing that you get is Idiot Sandwich has got a lot of pressure on the DPS to get those picks. Fury especially trying to get into the backline to distract so Kitsune can also get some damage done. With BoomerSquad having that Zen that you mentioned earlier, it is damage potential for the whole team, though by Zen, that is less damage potential for
I hope Zen can swim.
I don't think he does. I think he rusts a bit. It's going to be early supercharger.
Oh, and I'm noticing a lot of ultimates on the other side. Speaking of, here come 3 of them simultaneously from the defense. Idiot Sandwich swiftly send BoomerSquad right back to spawn here on point B.
Yeah, but that was a whole big investment to try and get this back. BoomerSquad is actually going to swap over to the Widow. That's going to be an interesting pick here. So there's definitely going to be a trouble for Furia to get all of the value that they were getting before. Having the Furia in the sky, yeah.
Honestly, I think that just goes to show how much value Furia is getting. It's forcing both DPS from BoomerSquad to swap just to deal with her in the skies.
Absolutely. BoomerSquad still has 3 ultimates right at the ready, so they do have a lot of pushing potential for this next point.
Yeah, 2 support ults and a Gravitic Flux ready to go. Definitely have that in their pockets. It's going to take a massive undertaking in the mid-fight for the defense to overcome this. Flux to start things off, targeting both tanks. Oh, and fake FDD dies before they even get slammed back down to the ground. Hat map going down low, cannot survive either. Ruby getting the better end of the Sigma duel. And without the tanks, the defense just going to have to kite back, forced all the way back to the back of point B.
Already the swaps coming on through to expect a point C hold, because getting Rewind Zarya in at this point is not really the most opportune thing. But I do like the swap, trying to brawl this out versus double shield. Probably a good idea.
But you sacrifice that ult economy, which means your attacking team, BoomerSquad, can feel free to use their ults, which indeed they do. The Ant Matrix and the Bob invested to help cap point B.
You do indeed give up on the ultimate economy, but BoomerSquad also, like, they're coming up to Supercharger. Yes, they've got the Transcendent. But now that Furia has only just swapped to the Genji, because that Pharah value really dwindles for this last point, the ultimate economy isn't that far off, especially as Hawks just came up to the Nano.
Absolutely. It's a good point. And Drill Jaeger making a swap of their own, so we're going to have both of the Cyber Ninjas out for each side. Hanzo takes a big fire strike early. And defense looking to get aggressive. Nano boost onto a fake FDD going into the back. Gets both Immortality and Transcendence out. I think a bit of a misplay there for the defense, or for the offense. And if the Idiot Sandwich can wait it out, which they do, beautiful! Oh my, what? A three-man dash kill. Furia showing off here on the Cyber Ninja.
I mean, that was so much damage that the servers have some issues here.
Furia just sent the server back to spawn.
I mean, you're going to be happy about that. You just got the Transcendence out of Fury and now managed to get to 75% for the Blade. That is going to make you happy as a Genji.
Oh, very happy indeed. I mean, look, it's 74-12 there in the ult economy.
Yes, 74-12. Like really don't want to see it. You're not going to get the Nano, especially not seeing as Hawks is the one who unfortunately will be the one DCing. Though with 9% on the counter, that's not too much lost. That's still something you can get back. And still looking at this, like you've got a Blade, you've got a Graph, so you can still combo those. BoomerSquad has got the Supercharger and the Graphitic Flux. And with 3 minutes on the counter, the BoomerSquad is actually getting a very solid push at the moment. So it's really up to Idiot Sandwich to force out this brawl from the double shield and try to bring this back.
Well, we're going to take a quick break here while we wait for our disconnected player to get back into the game. When we return, we'll see if that Blade will be enough to hold for the defense. Y'all don't go anywhere. We are back here in the action, my friends. BoomerSquad on the attack with 3 minutes on the clock to push into point C. Idiot Sandwich coming up on that Blade after that wonderful performance in that last fight from Furia.
BoomerSquad has actually swapped over to the Echo, an interesting pick, though it is a fairly meta. A lot of damage potential, but indeed, that Blade together with that Graph is definitely going to be a killer.
Supercharger online for the attacking team, hoping that they can get the picks before that massive combo comes out, but no! They were not aggressive enough, and a huge anti in the pack! Oh my! Perfectly executed! Furia with a 5K! That was beautiful.
That is some team play. Hawks right at the ready with that anti. That was massive. Though now you are coming up to a Bob for Idiot Sandwich, and that is essentially all you've got. BoomerSquad will be coming up to Bob of their own. Gravitic Flux, Supercharger, and the Amplification Matrix. That is a lot of damage potential coming through for the red team, and you don't really have anything to do with it for Idiot Sandwich.
Nope, Bob to start things off. Supercharger thrown out directly thereafter. Bob does get slapped. Echo and Sigma trying to work around to the flank. Oh, which opened up the front angle. Hanzo Main takes full advantage, finds 3 kills with the Viper. And that is going to make easy pickings for the rest. Lotu pushing up to the front to try to allow the space to get this 3rd point.
Now, BoomerSquad might be in a bit more difficult situation. This is where the brawl comes in. But you do have the Graph, but a sound barrier from Shad.
Yeah, the Gravitic Flux is there, but right there, you just nailed it. Shad, they absolutely put the sound barrier perfectly timed to keep Idiot Sandwich in this fight. Hawks doesn't survive, though, thereafter, as the real Jaeger was just hovering all over the back line. Looks like half the defense is already back in spawn. There goes the rest. A Reaper coming on the point to try to stall. Excuse me, the Ash coming on the point to try to stall for as long as they can, but only able to buy a little bit of time. $1.08 in the time bank here for BoomerSquad.
Yeah, Kitsu did try to get back to the point, but that Amplification Matrix early in that last fight really was so much damage coming on through. Everyone from the BoomerSquad was just standing behind the window. All that damage doubling that came on out was just too much for the defense to deal with. As you mentioned, 1 minute and 8 seconds on the clock. And Rialto is not an easy map to full push, so having time to spare is definitely already a good sign for the BoomerSquad.
One of the most defensive favorite maps, I'd say. I know, well, last I heard, Rialto has more full holds than any other map, and I would anticipate it's also one of the maps with the fewest completions. It seems so difficult to push through that cathedral.
Especially, indeed, that last point cathedral, just getting into those close quarters where the whole feel of the map and just the team compositions really suddenly shift around entirely. As we saw, the Brawl composition came through, which can be very strong. However, unfortunately, the ultimate economy was not in favor of Idiot Sandwich. Now, BoomerSquad on their defense are going to pull out the Torbjorn, especially having that turret in the backline can very much provide a lot of value and force Furia into positions where the Pharah does not want to be for potentially easy pickings for Hanzomain. Now, Kitsune is potentially going to try to counter this all with the Widow. Still the Batiste from Rumsky, but now a Brigitte from DJ, so no speed boost to rotate fast. So it looks like a BoomerSquad wants to take more brawly engages.
And it could serve him well. I imagine Kitsune probably won't stay on the Widow past point A, but could prove me wrong. The Pharmacy in the sky with a lot of cover and skybox to work with. So far, not really bothered by the turret. Kitsune, in fact, is going to go ahead and send that equipment down and back into the Torp's pocket. Real Jaeger himself about half health, and DJ goes down. The brick falls. Hanzomain falls. And Idiot Squad in complete control, setting the pace here on the attack.
Getting those turrets out early, and if you then do not have Hanzomain ready to deal with Furia, this Pharah is just going to be running wild. Forces out the Immortality Field as well. I mean, this is just one quick first point push that is not going to be able to get contested at all, honestly. BoomerSquad already coming out with swaps, and even that doesn't matter.
What a beautiful shot. Kitsune finding both DPS at the end of that. And you saw Rumsky throw out the Immortality Field just to keep themselves alive. And that's, you know, yeah, that's always bad. Like, as soon as you're just throwing the Immortality Field to save yourself, you've already lost that fight. And Kitsune just continues to put on a Kalytic here with the Widowmaker.
I mean, this is massive. Furia already peeking out to get a nice positioning for the barrage. It's going to be Tracer to try and counter the Pharah, but that's not particularly the best Pharah counter on the hero lineup. Now, as everyone knows, BoomerSquad is really pulling back, and Idiot Sandwich has gotten all of this free space so far.
BoomerSquad are able to get some people on the high ground, keep the Pharah from coming through. Nice haul to take the Brig down. The Matrix comes out from the defense. Here comes the barrage right over the top. Immortality Field there. And the kills are traded out. Hanzomain swapping over to the Widow of their own. Does deal with the Pharah, but the kills from the front line. Too much for the defense to handle. And this cart rolls right around the corner of death here on point B, threatening to get that second point on the board.
I mean, the barrage does not need to get kills, as we just saw. All of the damage coming on now. It forces out the Immortality Field, gets everyone in such low health that the cleanup can be there. And Idiot Sandwich is just, at the moment, running away with it.
Yeah, it's investing a late Gravitic Flux. Not sure they needed that, but HatMap does find the kill onto the Sigma. Two-man advantage with Kitsune winning the duel against the Widowmaker. So, Idiot Sandwich still controlling the pace and still BoomerSquad on the back foot, and just seems like they haven't stopped backing up this entire map.
I mean, confirming kills with the Gravitic Flux, yes, you can get everyone low, but with that Immortality Field, especially now with the Moira, is definitely going to be able to heal a lot of the damage up. So confirming one kill to just get the stackers and give you the advantage, I wouldn't say the worst play for that one, and supercharging that down as well.
Valid point, my friend, valid point. That supercharger could allow a big push here, but oh, Rumsky! Taking down the Orisa. There's something else you're reading. The support line killing the main tank. Low 2. Taking down HatMap. And finally, BoomerSquad able to plant their feet.
It's nearly 5 minutes on the clock for Idiot Sandwich to bring this one on back, and they're gonna actually once again swap this out. They do like this brawl composition. You've given up 3 of your ultimates. Fury is gonna have to try and build up that blade. Hawks is gonna have a nano though. You can put that on your runner, but without the Lucio, BoomerSquad is very much in a good position to just rotate away and not really allow that Reiner to get value and get that hammer swinging.
I do like the swap, though. I don't think the rotations have been truly on point. BoomerSquad needs to improve in that fact. They've got to anticipate a little bit better if they want to counter this brawl comp. Throwing in a pair of ultimates, and just like you said, the nano boost onto the Reinhardt. The Gravitic Flux does negate that a bit. No kills coming through, but Immortality Field forced out of the defense. And it looks like Idiot Sandwich just getting hyper-aggressive. They see all the cooldowns are used. Will Jaeger just gets decimated during his dead eye. Doesn't even have time to pull the trigger. Coalescence finds HatMap, but I think just a consolation prize from the defense. Easy, running away with this thing.
Oh no, Batiste! No,
where are you going?
You don't want to rotate here!
Where are you going, buddy? You know, that's not where you wanted to be at all. Now you're just back in spawn, Rumsky.
That's not what you want to see. 2easy Idiot Sandwich has got essentially all the tools. Shatter coming and up, Blade as well.
Oh man, the Shadow's gonna find the Moira, and that is just fine. A lot of sustain now missing. Jareel Jaeger making the swap over to the Reaper, able to find the kill on the FDD, but Map able to clean that kill up, get a little revenge for the big German Crusader. Now it's just a Tracer and a Paratank lift on the point. Oh wow, Reinhardt just threw Ruby all the way off into the side room, going for a little trick for Rialto, and now here comes Furia with the Genji Blade, trying to close this thing out with a massive time bank. Just the Reaper and the Lucio left for Idiot Sandwich to deal with.
Fake FTD tries to charge the Reaper, but indeed with this cleanup, this looks like Idiot Sandwich will still get the hard time back. It's going to be stagger picks for the BoomerSquad.
Graviton Surge used to hold one side, but the Wrecking Ball comes to the other, able to stall out a little bit. Just 0.27 meters left to go. Shatter coming out, or Stun coming out, found Rumsky. They're able to delete the Lucio. Big stall potential now missing. Still got to deal with this Wrecking Ball though, and now a Doomfist on the point. Can't let this Doomfist find those easy picks, otherwise this attack could get shut down in its place. So here comes the Nano Shatter. That's the Doomfist back in spawn, cleaning up some kills. FTD finding the Tracer as well. This Reinhardt able to smash this thing home and doubling the time bank BoomerSquad were able to put up.
The stagger was impressive, but even with that, it's not enough to stop Idiot Sandwich to get the full push with a bigger time bank. We just managed to say that the BoomerSquad did a very good job getting the full push, and Idiot Sandwich just does a Titans and goes, oh, what? Well, is that a good time bank? No, this is a good time bank. We're going to get 2 minutes on the clock, and so that extra minute, especially with how Idiot Sandwich managed to get their first point essentially entirely for free. There was barely any contest from the get-go. The BoomerSquad really has to pull out all the stops in their attack to try and get essentially to checkpoint A. If you already get there, you've already got a good setup, you've got an ending point, and you can potentially hold this if you rethink your strategy for that first part of this map.
Yeah, I was saying this is a very defensive favored map. Well, we did not see that here from either side, really. But Idiot Sandwich able to push through that extremely difficult point A with ease. Able to get around the big corner of death with little resistance from the opposite side, and that just gave him such a massive time bank to work on point C. Now, going on the defense once again, hoping it'll be enough to give him a 2-0 lead here in this playoff match.
I mean, I'm also liking Kitsune on this Widow. He's been finding a lot of value on the French sniper, so that is definitely going to also give Hanzo main a run for their money. It's going to actually be the hit scan and flex DPS switching sides, and Kitsune just taking the far out.
I mean, they have the res available, but you've got to think that's going to get in the head of Hanzo, man. Kitsune, let him know they are watching him through that scope. Oh, almost got shot onto the Mercy. Front line, well, they're not being swayed at all. They're just going to go clash, not trying to maintain distance as Idiot Sandwich feel themselves here. Want to take the fight directly to BoomerSquad. Kitsune goes down, but once again, res available. Back to a 66 here on the point. Now Ruby finally managing to find some room to work, and it's looking like Idiot Squad forced to back up a little bit. Kitsune is still keeping that far in check, though, the entire time through.
The rest comes on through. The real Jaeger is the one to drop next, and with just 5 players on the board, Bullskunk, this is not going to be an easy attack to push in.
No, Furia is able to pick up the kill onto the real Jaeger. Real Jaeger making the swap over to the Soldier, now trying to just run back into this fight. Furia takes out the Mercy. No more heals, no more res coming from that healer. Now the Immortality Field used, and I can't help but feel like BoomerSquad has just thrown everything at it, and they've barely got around the first corner. Now they're out of cooldowns. The Amplification Matrix, a last-ditch effort, but there's a barrage over the top. Soldier taken out the far, but not before all that damage has been poured into the defense. Idiot Sandwich holding strong.
That first corner was so important for BoomerSquad to try and push through. They didn't manage, and as you mentioned, they essentially threw everything, including the kitchen sink, at it, and still didn't get past that choke. If they had gotten to that first checkpoint, that would have been a very solid chance for them to hold the same corner. But that is not a far corner to have to hold. You're gonna have to hold essentially on bridge, and I mean, save from either a flawless execution or some cheese. you're gonna have a lot of trouble trying to hold this, and this is not a fun fight for the BoomerSquad to take.
And if the payload had managed to push further into the courtyard, you might be able to take the hyper-aggressive hold the doors approach and get 2 fights out of it. But as it stands, you're going to have to be perfect if you're BoomerSquad on the defense.
You're gonna have to be flawless, and the BoomerSquad is gonna be the double hit scan, so Furia definitely gonna have some trouble, but we've seen it before, because Furia takes off so much attention from the hit scans of BoomerSquad, that opens up the entire field for Kitsune to just get into the back line, or even just stay in the front line, and just pick off the heads of anyone who is not paying attention to the Widowmaker, and if they do not manage to, if the BoomerSquad doesn't manage to shift their attention appropriately where is needed, either Furia or Kitsune is going to get that early opening pick, and from there on, Idiot Sandwich is just going to barrel through those chokes and get the point to capture.
And even the fact that they're running Bunker, FDD, and HatMap are fearless on these 2 heroes and almost play it like Brawl. They get up close and personal. They're not afraid to get into the thick of it. Hanzo starting things off strong, though, and forcing a bit of a comp change.
Forcing a quick comp change. Is this going to be dive? It is going to be dive. It's going to be animal dive as well. The Hammond coming on through along with the Winston. No, is going to be actually the Diva. Quick swap there, but I like it. I like the dive coming in and just getting into the back line and trying to get those pick. Unfortunate for Kitsune, he's going to have to take this dive a bit easier.
BoomerSquad read that one perfectly. Daryl Jaeger taking up that long sight line, able to pick off Kitsune as they tried to move through the alley. Now Idiot Sandwich forced to circle around, but they're capturing the high ground, and BoomerSquad suddenly they're beating a quick retreat, desperately trying to keep their team members alive as the pressure coming through from this dive composition.
It's not going to be fun for snipers as the real Jaeger already gets dove. And Hanzo though will have a bob soon.
Yeah, and gets the pick onto the Diva as well. Though Daryl Jaeger goes down, but HatMap giving his life in the process. So still a 1-man advantage for the defense here. But oh, Hanzo striking. I was just about to say, I felt like the attackers were getting a little bit of a positional advantage, but Hanzo shutting that down immediately, though he does fall with the bob in his pocket.
This is not what you want to see, though. Idiot Sandwich has got the spawn advantage. They can get back faster, even with that application matrix.
Yes, sir. That application matrix not enough. And now the remaining members of the defense just getting picked apart. The Reaper not enough to fend off the assault. Idiot Sandwich.
Diva.
Idiot Sandwich going up 2-0 here in this series.
Oh, Bullskunk to Diva just booped the Reaper away. You're not going to get to point anytime soon. And indeed, Idiot Sandwich still proving to be the strongest team, even here on Rialto, even here on the payload map. And indeed, this play from Furia.
Oh, that was so pretty. This was a thing of beauty. Absolute flawless demonstration of teamwork with the 5K coming through from Furia. 46 eliminations for the Genji in that match. What a performance.
That is some hefty numbers for the Genji from Furia. But again, like, unfortunately, supports don't get mentioned enough. And, like, really big kudos to Hawks for that massive anti-nade that just allowed all of that to happen. And some amazing plays there all around. And BoomerSquad indeed now very much on the back foot. And if I'm not mistaken, Idiot Sandwich now on match point.
Yes, they are indeed. BoomerSquad gets the map pick again. So their choice of our hybrid maps to try to get that goose egg off the board. Looks like Blizzard World is going to be their pick.
I mean, I like Blizzard World. I know a lot of the community does not, but I like it. It looks pretty.
Like it. Yeah,
it's fun, and it reminds me of all the wonderful Blizzard games that I've already spent a whole lot of money on. But
haven't we all, sure?
I like Blizzard World, and it also gives them great opportunities. The first point, it's a bit strange. You have a few approaches that you can take, and especially the Pharah to get some potential value again. When you get to that second point, that high ground becomes very interesting because you cannot really contest a payload through the high ground. You can get a good setup, but it's also, while more difficult to approach, easier to ignore. And
yeah,
it's a really interesting second point to get in. And third point, I mean, that's just Diablo. That's Diablo goodness. And honestly, a fairly straight forward approach there for the attacking side. Though the defense has got some really great chokes to hold, it's a bit more, I would say, in air quotes, standard when it comes to design and philosophy behind how to take the points, but still very much interesting and fun.
Well, we've seen wonderful dive as well as an impeccable brawl composition from Idiot Sandwich here so far. I think we'll see both of those here, both of them super viable, respectively, for the exact reasons you were just mentioning.
I mean, the question is for these teams, a double shield will be fairly strong on second point, especially if you want to hold that high ground. Yep. On first point, double shield can do pretty well as well, though I also like those brawl compositions where you just kind of hold point and wait for the enemy team to come to you. So that can work as well. So you're going to have to make the choice, do we want to try and hold first point with brawl, but then have a bit more trouble on second point, or do we try to hold first point with double shield and maybe lose that one quickly, but try our luck at holding second point? Because third point especially, brawl becomes really strong, and there you probably want to swap out, because running double shield there is going to be exceptionally difficult. And if the enemy team is running brawl there, you don't have an opportunity to swap every portion of the map.
Well, we did get a swap, speaking of. So it was BoomerSquad's map pick, Idiot Sandwich choosing to go on the attack first. This shows some brass here, Belly, and I love it.
I do love it as well, trying to get that full push. And now, with that speed boost brawl and the Mei as well, if those walls come on through appropriately onto the BoomerSquad, you're not going to be able to rotate fast enough, even if you had a Lucio. And with Kitsune as well to just get into the backline to wreak havoc, this is not going to be a fun brawl for BoomerSquad to defend against.
This is going to be a clash here. I like it. Double shield versus brawl. Kitsune finding first blood here on Blizzard World, and the primary source of damage now missing for the defense. The Genji, though buffed, I'm not sure has the mid-fight potential to help out for BoomerSquad, as the front line of Idiot Sandwich are just bowling over this point, taking a very quick point in.
That was brawl at its finest. The Arisa trying to run away, and with Chad on the Lucio just kind of going, nope, you're right. Our Reinhardt is in your face now, and he's not going anywhere. And with that, indeed, first point given to Idiot Sandwich. The fake FTT coming up to Shadow already. That's going to be a bit more difficult, though, with Chad on the Lucio. You're going to be able to speed boost past the shields, Shadow the whole team, save from the Eraser, who's inevitably going to fortify to save themselves, but only themselves from that Shadow.
So now, Idiot Sandwich. Okay, I thought they were going to try to path up high ground, but I think they were just stalling to buy some ults. We had a trade come through in the back. Tracer for Genji. Then Matt moves through, and then here it comes. There goes the steamroller right over BoomerSquad, and they are just lying flattened in the streets of Blizzard World.
I think FDD, just whenever he's playing Ryan, his charges just find something. I don't know how. There!
There it is!
There!
Right on cue, sir.
Thank you, FDD, for just proving my point immediately. And I'm hoping to see many more. It's so risky, but as the right made myself, that voice in the back of your head is like, just charge, you'll get one of them. FDD, you're getting one of them, and you're getting your wins.
See, and I usually just end up dying when that happens. FDD, he looks like a king out here. Now he's got the nano boost, looking like a god. Pushing forward, swinging down, forcing out the immortality field, but that's going to get burned down immediately. 2 kills come back from the other side, so it's a 4v4 left on the objective. Respawns are going to favor the defense as the contest comes through with 2.5 meters left on the objective. Pat Nat able to clean up the Erasa, second point on the board. That was the only member of the defense standing on the objective.
Kitsune just distracted the back line, and indeed it was only the Erisa from Ruby holding the point, and as soon as that one drops with those 2 meters, nobody's going to be able to get back to the point fast enough. There's finally a team fight win for the BoomerSquad, but Idiot Sandwich has been pushing through, having only used the nano, having 5 ultimates at the ready. BoomerSquad, though, coming up to 5 of their own, only having the supercharger not available for this next fight. But if you get that opening pick with the Pulse Bomb, or just a Shatter.
Yeah, that's a 3-man Shatter right there. The Transcendence not quite available. Now the Blizzard's up. Is DJ gonna throw the treads in? Bob invested from the defense, able to find 1 kill, and indeed, Transcendence will come out to help defend against the Blizzard, and the real Jaeger able to strike back, finding 1 with the big old Butler and 1 with the Viper itself.
That is exactly what you need. Hanselman!
Hanselman investing the blade into it, and it goes by the wayside. You just got decimated there, Belly.
Hamap also invested the grab, and that was actually the one that I was hoping for they would keep, because the grab with the pulse bomb would have just been a fight win for Idiot Sandwich, but no, they invest up one, but they do come up to the nano boost. So once again, that Reinhardt coming on in, Kitsune looking for the pulse bomb, and it's it. What?
Oh, just kills himself with it. Stuck the Sigma, was looking for the Erase, but now the Shatter. The Shatter is massive. The nano boost there, but he can't survive. Real Jaeger all over him with the Viper. The attacking team threw everything at him, and Idiot Sandwich falls flat.
And Sandwich now having some trouble. It is still 4 minutes on the clock. They've got a sound barrier, which you're gonna have to use for the Gravitic Flux once again. You get that Mexican standoff between the Sigma and the Lucio. But it is now BoomerSquad definitely in favor here in this Ultimate Economy.
Absolutely. And you're going to have DJ with that Transcend. It could be the big difference maker. We had the combo exactly like you said. Flux came out, but Shad, they were able to throw the sound barrier in. The Songs of Healing keep the team in the fight. Now we're pretty much neutral aside from the Transcendence. Will Jaeger picking off Shad, throws in the bomb, and 2 support ults coming online for BoomerSquad as they fend off this attacking team once again.
Sandwich indeed not really getting the value, though they did manage to push the payload ever so slightly further. They're gonna need another eco push to just get those ultimates up, so you're gonna have to just give one push away, maybe try to get this Transcendence out, force it out of DJ. But other than that, you're gonna need an eco push and get those ultimates up, especially that Graviton. And if you manage to build up one along with the Nano Blade, then you're gonna be able to win a fight, but only if either DJ uses a Transcendence or dies early.
Another thing is Hanselman making that swap over to the Junkrat could be detrimental. Riptire now online. Amplification Matrix on the battlefield for BoomerSquad. They've managed to chew a lot of time off this clock and already found the Ana out of the back line. High priority pick for the defense. FDD whittled down low, forced to back off. Shield cracking and breaking under the weight. Bubbles used, and Idiot Sandwich throwing out all their cooldowns and can't even get around this first corner.
A very difficult spot, and Kitsune drops early, so no high noon either. Map is coming up to the grab, but as you indeed mentioned, Hanselman is still holding onto the tower, can just drop into the backline and potentially looking for this relatively soon to just get a few quick picks off. And BoomerSquad hasn't had to use anything aside from that amplification matrix, which is honestly not really the strongest at this point.
No, it's pretty indicative that DJ's been able to hold on to this Transcendence this long. It means the defense just not feeling pressured enough to even invest in that ultimate. Now here comes the Deadeye through, finds nothing. Graviton Surge invested in, finds nothing either. Tire comes out. Oh, and the attacking team looking so low. The sound barrier not enough to keep Idiot Sandwich in this fight as BoomerSquad pushes in and cleans up the stragglers.
Idiot Sandwich it didn't manage to win that fight. BoomerSquad did get the victory in the end, though I would have still liked them to hold on to the tire a bit longer and get yourself another fight, which would have essentially been last fight territory. Now you've got the Nano Blade, but indeed the Mexican standoff you mentioned earlier, the Transcendence still has not come on out, and this is going to be the one coming on out because you're going to have to Nano Blade and you're not going to get the Zen out of the fight early.
No, but a huge ante might negate it all. Can Idiot Sandwich find the perfect combo here to finally push this thing in? Bob coming out early from the defense was slept and devalued early in the fight.
Now, so much damage already coming on through. There's so much resources getting burned here, Bullskunk.
Yeah, and just kind of a very slow push. What are Idiot Sandwich waiting for? Get in there, drop the blade, there it goes! Here's the Transcendence, is the ante there? No, Hawk does not look to the ante, and in time, Rumsky does eventually fall from a beautiful deflect, and Furious says, I don't need the blade, I'm just going to use the shurikens to close this thing out, finds a pair of kills, make that 4 kills for Fury on the Genji.
That deflect was the thing that really just brought it around for Idiot Sandwich. That was so much damage that nobody of the BoomerSquad was expecting to come in from so close. What?
The Nano Blade, right? You expect the Nano Blade to be the difference maker. Fury is like, nah, that was just a red herring. It's this deflect you got to worry about.
Blizzard nerf deflect, please. No, it's that 2-second deflect, but that is actually like that 2-second deflect was so massive, and just getting that extra damage in from that half a second more. And that full-on push of damage, the Junkrat 120 damage, the Orisa just pumping out left clicks, coming up with the 80 damage from the Sigma as well. Like that's so much damage coming up through, and that just blasted through half of the team of BoomerSquad.
Poor Rumsky ate one of his own team's Junkrat nades just right to the face. Like, that was that poor Baptiste. I can't help but feel for him.
That was one heck of an Uno reverse card from Furry.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That was like a reverse draw 4, man.
To really bring it on home. They did manage to get the full push, but it was an overtime. So there is still a win condition for the BoomerSquad to bring this on back. It is Sandwich still going for that brawl defense with the Pharah up in the air, Kitsune on the Ashe. And BoomerSquad, I'm wondering whether they're going to be running through with this. A Lotu on the Orisa, Ruby on the Runner. They're going to be able to just halt with Fire Strike to get Shatters left, right, and center for Ruby. So that could be one play, but you really need to have the coordination between your tanks top-notch to be able to get that value out of it.
Absolutely, and it puts a lot of pressure onto your DPS to be able to get the picks, and Furia opening up with first kill as Idiot Sandwich goes on the defense here. And I like where they're holding, I mean, just a standard approach, nothing overly clever here.
No, just holding on point, just taking it safe, and forcing the enemy team to come to you, because as soon as you get to the point, you're gonna have to brawl. An Idiot Sandwich has got the higher brawl potential.
Yeah, they're ready for it, and putting so much damage in along the way. A little bit of best of both worlds, a lot of long-range damage coming out, and then once you get up close and personal, they're happy to take that fight as well. All coming through onto Hat. Matt, Ruby throwing down that Fire Strike, trying to get that extra percentage, but it's actually FTD with the lead in the Earthshatter War. Now the bubble on FTD goes charging forward, putting all the pressure in the world onto Ruby, who's whittled down below half health. Now the Ant Matrix in response, the support line so good. Oh, what a shatter! That's a 5-man shatter coming through. What on earth did we just see, Belly?
Well, everyone taking off of this Earth. The BoomerSquad indeed with a massive play. A fake FDD just reading the enemy team flawlessly, seeing that the amplification matrix is up, just waiting for the Orisa shield to drop, and as soon as that was the case, knowing that Ruby was probably going to Fire Strike to get some damage, and putting everyone on the floor. It is Sandwich now in an amazing place to bring this fight on home. BoomerSquad coming up to a few ultimate supercharger the Shatter of their own and the Tire, and that especially from Hanselman could really be a break.
Oh, but Fury right on top of it, recognizes the Tire is coming up soon, takes down the Junkrat before he can build up any more, and that's just going to delay this push even further. Oh, nice Dynamite to finish off Ruby, shutting down this push entirely. The Nano Boost onto the Reinhardt, just an exclamation point, and there's FDD with another one of those brilliant charges you were talking about.
You said it before, like, if I do it, I die.
Right?
But, yeah, no, FDD has got the backup of the team. Oh, and Furry is looking for it, just staying on this sideline, looking to go over those roofs, putting in a barrage in the back. Idiot Sandwich, once again, only one ultimate down. BoomerSquad also coming up to a few, but the real Jaeger swaps to Reaper, so Furry is going to have full free reign. This rotation is going to be very important for BoomerSquad to get through the back and get in the brawl fight early. If Idiot Sandwich manages to stay far away, Furia is going to break this team apart.
Yeah, BoomerSquad running all the way back, trying to throw in a flank Shatter. Got booped up in the air. That gave the team time to get away. Shatter only found one. Kitsune lighten up the feed, landing those Viper shots down, and the clever rotation, well, I think they just kind of outthought themselves on that one, Bailey.
This is Idiot Sandwich and just kind of running away with it at this point. BoomerSquad having so much trouble to just even get to the point, let alone start getting attacked. They've got 40 seconds to go, and Hanselman just died again.
Once again, Furia all over that Junkrat. Just cannot seem to escape the far rockets whatsoever.
This is such good play from Idiot Sandwich, and the BoomerSquad is just not finding the value that they need, and they need to push in quickly. And once again, Furia just hovering Like,
Oh, just waiting like an eagle in the wing. Here comes the Graviton Surge. Here comes the Barrage, the combo. Oh, man, that was fantastic. Hanzo Main's tire, not nearly enough to swing this fight back as the seconds dwindle down. So do the hopes of BoomerSquad of making it through the winner's bracket. There goes to 0. Nobody can touch. Idiot Sandwich with a clean 3-0 sweep. We'll move on here in our playoffs.
that was one hell of a fight. Idiot Sandwich just clearing it out 3-0 with some amazing plays, well thought out rotations, and I mean the DPS did amazing, but once again kudos to the supports as well. Hawks has had some really great plays, manages to get those nanos up very quickly, and then the team play to really get them where you need them. Idiot Sandwich, very much a good contending team in the rookie bracket to bring this all the way home.
Well, BoomerSquad not out of it yet. This is a double elimination tournament. BoomerSquad will move into the loser's bracket where I'm not sure if we're going to take a look at the bracket here, but they will be facing Sheriffs, who have come up and won 3-1 after their fight for redemption and making their way into playoffs. Idiot Sandwich, after the 3-0 today, going to take on Benchwarmer 0 in the semifinals, who also 3-0'd their opponent. So looking forward to a very tight matchup here in the semifinals of the winner's bracket. Other scores down the line, Ramen taking the 3-0 victory over Ray Dragons as well, moving on in that loser bracket matchup.
Yeah, absolutely, and BoomerSquad is going to have to take it against the Sheriffs 3-1, so definitely some good games to go on there. And once again, just seeing that great play, seeing that team play, and it makes me happy once again as a Ryan main to see the fake FDD just coming on in and just getting all that value with the backup of the team. Like, that is the beauty that you want to see. Without the backup of your team, your Reinhardt is not going to get anywhere. And having this good of a team synergy to just let FDD do whatever the hell they want, and the rest of the team to back it up and use all that space created to just clear up. That is something beautiful that I adore seeing.
Oh, that was such a fun match to watch. That was awesome. And the coordination, these guys did not look like a rookie team from the coordination that we saw here today. That was brilliant performance there from Too Easy Idiot Sandwich.
It was an amazing performance, and that was the very least the one that we've got, though. I do know that there's gonna be some NA games later.
Oh yeah. We're finished with our games here from the EU region, but you're absolutely right, Belly. We do have more GitGud playoff action coming at you here in just a little while. As Ignited Embers, forgive me, will take on Belladonna, and then following that, we will have Aviate taking on Contract as we keep Season 5 GitGud playoffs moving here in this Friday night action. Well, thank you so much for joining us, everybody. This will conclude our EU broadcast, but we do hope to see you for those awesome matches later on today. Y'all remember to look out for each other in game and out, and we'll see you then.